Pay attention to this security camera footage. May 3, 2024. Private estate venue, Belmont Hills. Spring fundraiser gala. The camera captures a stunning garden terrace. Hanging Edison bulbs. Designer-dressed guests. String quartet playing near the fountain. And there by the rose garden you see them. An elderly white woman in a pearl-white evening gown. A young black man in a tailored navy suit. They're standing close, very close. She's laughing at something he said. He takes her hand, brings it to his lips, kisses it gently. Then she reaches up, he's much taller, and he leans down so she can touch his face. They kiss. Soft. Intimate. Real. Around them, other guests notice. Some smile awkwardly. Others whisper to their companions. One woman actually stops mid-sip of champagne, staring with her mouth slightly open. An older man in a gray suit shakes his head in visible disapproval. Before we continue, where are you watching from? If this is your first time here, please hit that subscribe button. Stories like these need to be shared, and your support helps us bring more truth to light. This 19-second security clip would be downloaded the next morning, saved to a flash drive, and personally delivered to two people. Two people who would watch their mother kiss this man and feel nothing but rage. Within 18 days that young man would be dead. Murdered and hidden where no one would think to search. The elderly woman would die just 10 days after that, her heart giving out from what doctors would call stress-induced cardiomyopathy. She would die believing the man she loved had stolen from her and disappeared. Believing she'd been used. Believing she'd been a desperate old fool. She would never know the truth. Never know he'd been killed. Never know he'd refused money to stay with her. Never know her own children had orchestrated everything, his death, her heartbreak, all of it. When investigators finally pieced it together, when encrypted texts and financial records and witness testimony exposed the conspiracy, the world would be stunned. This wasn't just about murder. This was about inheritance, entitlement, and racism wrapped in a bow of family loyalty. This was about two children who decided their mother's happiness was worth less than their bank accounts. 4 lives would be destroyed. A $6.1 million fortune would disappear in the most ironic way possible. And it all started with 19 seconds of footage showing two people whose only crime was loving each other in a world that couldn't accept it. May 11, 2024, 6:42 a.m. A groundskeeper named Thomas Park is doing his morning rounds at Riverside Corporate Park, about 40 miles outside the city. It's a sprawling business complex with office buildings, warehouses, and large sections of wooded buffer zones kept undeveloped for environmental regulations. Thomas is checking the perimeter fence line after storms the previous week when he notices something odd. There's a section of ground near the back fence that looks disturbed. Fresh earth, darker soil, branches arranged in a way that doesn't look natural. He's been doing this job for 12 years. He knows what belongs and what doesn't. This doesn't belong. He walks closer. The smell hits him before he sees anything else. Unmistakable. He pulls back some branches with a stick and sees fabric. Expensive fabric. Dark blue material. Part of a sleeve. He sees a hand. Pale, decomposed. Thomas backs away immediately, pulls out his phone, calls 911. Police arrive at 7:19 a.m. By 8:30, crime scene investigators are carefully excavating the area. The body is male, late 20s, fit build. Been there approximately 2.5 weeks. Clothing still mostly intact. Designer suit pants, expensive dress shirt, leather shoes. This wasn't some random victim. Someone with money. Forensic analysis shows blunt force trauma to the head, strangulation marks on the neck, defensive wounds on both hands. This person fought back hard. By early afternoon they have an ID through fingerprints. Cameron Joshua Mitchell. 29 years old. Personal wellness consultant. Reported missing April 28. Last confirmed sighting was April 26, leaving his apartment building. He'd been dead in these woods the entire time his phone records were being traced, the entire time his clients were calling asking where he was, the entire time one person in particular was desperately trying to find him. But most people assumed this was random violence. A robbery gone wrong. Maybe a client dispute. They were wrong. This was about Helen Ashford, a 78-year-old widow worth $6.1 million who fell in love with a 29-year-old wellness consultant. This was about two adult children who decided their mother's relationship was an embarrassment, a threat, and ultimately an obstacle to their inheritance. This was about a bribe rejected, a murder commissioned, and a lie that killed two people. Cameron Joshua Mitchell. 29 years old. Wellness consultant specializing in elderly clients. 6 feet tall, athletic, warm smile that put people at ease. He grew up in foster care after his mother died of an overdose when he was 7. Bounced between homes until he aged out at 18. Put himself through community college working 3 jobs. Got certified in physical therapy, nutrition, geriatric care. Built a small but successful practice working with seniors who needed someone patient, someone who understood that aging bodies require different approaches. He was good at his job. More than that, he genuinely cared. His clients loved him. He'd spend extra time, never rushed appointments, remembered birthdays, checked in when he didn't have to. At 24, he'd briefly been engaged to a woman named Jessica. It ended badly when she admitted she'd been cheating for months. Cameron threw himself into work after that, built walls, didn't date, didn't trust easily. Helen Ashford. 78 years old. Widow. Her husband Richard died 3 years ago from complications of pneumonia after 49 years of marriage. They'd built a successful commercial real estate business together. Richard handled deals, Helen managed properties. When he died, she inherited everything, $6.1 million in assets, properties, investments. She has 2 children. Daughter Patricia, 54, and son Douglas, 51. Both live within 20 miles. Both visit maybe once every couple months, usually when they need something. Patricia's husband lost his job in 2023. They've been asking Helen for loans. Douglas's business has been struggling. He's hinted multiple times about early inheritance. Helen told her sister Barbara in late 2023, "My children visit me like I'm a bank branch. They check my balance more than they check on me." Helen suffered a minor heart episode in January 2024. Her doctor recommended lifestyle changes, stress reduction, light exercise, maybe some social activities. She'd been isolated since Richard died, rarely leaving her house except for errands. In February 2024, Barbara suggests Helen hire someone to help with wellness, exercise, just having someone check on her regularly. Helen's hesitant but agrees. Barbara recommends Cameron through a friend whose mother he'd worked with. February 14, 2024. Cameron arrives for the initial consultation. Helen answers the door, sees this tall, handsome young black man with a warm smile, and immediately feels awkward. She's 78, white, wealthy, from a generation where things were different. He's 29, black, standing in her doorway offering to help her. "Mrs. Ashford, I'm Cameron Mitchell. Thank you for meeting with me. Please come in." They sit in her living room. Cameron asks questions. Her health history, her goals, what she's comfortable with. Helen's guarded at first, but Cameron has this way about him. He listens. Really listens. Not just waiting for his turn to talk. He asks about Richard, how long they were married, what he was like. Helen finds herself talking more than she has in months. By the end of the hour, they've scheduled twice-weekly sessions starting the following week. February 21st. First session. Cameron designs a gentle program. Light stretching, breathing exercises, short walks around her property. They work for 45 minutes. Afterward, they sit on her patio. Helen offers tea. They talk. Cameron tells her about his background, foster care, working his way through school. Helen's heart breaks hearing it. "You did all that alone?" "Didn't have much choice. But it taught me resilience. You must be very strong. Or very stubborn." Helen laughs. First real laugh in weeks. Over the next month, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 a.m. become the highlight of Helen's week. They exercise, but mostly they talk. Cameron tells stories about his clients, funny things that happen. Helen tells him about building the business with Richard, about her children when they were young before things got complicated. March arrives. Sessions continue. One Thursday, Helen mentions she hasn't been to a restaurant since Richard died. Too awkward going alone. Cameron surprises her the following Tuesday. "I'm taking you to lunch after our session. You don't have to. I want to." Consider it part of wellness. Social engagement matters. They go to a small Italian place. Helen's nervous at first. A 78-year-old white woman having lunch with a 29-year-old black man. People will stare. People will judge. But Cameron's so natural, so comfortable that she relaxes. They talk for 2 hours. About everything. Books, movies, politics, life. Helen drives home feeling something she hasn't felt in years. Alive. April comes. Something's shifting. Helen knows it. The way Cameron looks at her. The way he touches her hand during exercises. The way he smiles when she opens the door. But she also knows it's impossible. She's 78. He's 29. 49 years between them. What is she thinking? April 15th. Tuesday session. They're on the patio after exercising. Cameron's quiet. "You okay?" Helen asks. "Can I ask you something personal?" "Of course. Do you ever think about being happy again? After Richard?" Helen's caught off guard. Sometimes. I don't know if I know how anymore. I think you do. I think you're just scared. Cameron, what are you? I'm saying I look forward to seeing you. More than I should probably admit. I think about you when I'm not here. And I think you might feel the same way. Helen's breath catches. Cameron, I'm 78 years old. And I'm 29. So what? So people would think it's ridiculous. Would you let me take you to dinner? Not as your wellness consultant. As someone who wants to spend time with you. Helen looks at this man. This kind, intelligent, beautiful man who's asking her on a date. Her heart's racing. Yes, she says quietly. Yes, I would. April 18th, Friday evening. Cameron picks Helen up at 7. Takes her to an upscale restaurant downtown. She's wearing a navy dress she hasn't worn in years. He's in a charcoal suit. They have dinner. Real conversation, not small talk. They discuss everything. At one point, Helen reaches across the table, takes his hand. Thank you for this. For seeing me. Not just the old woman. You're not just an old woman. You're brilliant and funny and beautiful. Cameron. I mean it. When I'm with you, I feel like myself. Not the foster kid. Not the guy who had to fight for everything. Just me. You make me feel that way too. Not the widow. Not the mother who disappoints her children. Just me. They finish dinner. Cameron drives her home. Walks her to the door. Helen turns to him. Would you like to come in? Are you sure? I'm sure. They go inside. Talk until midnight. When Cameron finally leaves, they kiss. Gentle. Tentative. Perfect. Over the next 2 weeks, Helen and Cameron see each other almost daily. Sometimes it's still sessions. Sometimes it's dinner. Sometimes Cameron just comes over and they watch movies, cook together, sit in her garden talking. Helen feels 30 years younger. Cameron's never been happier. They keep it private. Helen's not ready for her children to know. Not ready for the world's judgment. But they're building something real. Helen thinks about her estate. Her will from 2019 splits everything between Patricia and Douglas. $3.05 million each. But they don't deserve it. They've abandoned her. Cameron has been with her for months. Has asked for nothing. She's tried to give him things, offered to help with expenses. He refused. I don't need your money, Helen. I just need you. Helen consults her attorney, Martin Chin. Wants to change her will. Chin is cautious. Schedules cognitive evaluations. 2 independent psychiatrists examine her. Conclusion: Helen Ashford is of completely sound mind, sharp, capable of making decisions. March 29, 2024, Helen signs a new will. The plan: $400,000 to Patricia, $400,000 to Douglas, $500,000 to Cameron, and $4.8 million to establish the Ashford Foundation for Elder Care and Youth Services. Programs helping isolated seniors. Programs helping foster youth build futures. Plus a clause. If any person is convicted of any crime related to harm or death of Cameron Mitchell, all bequests to that person are void and added to the foundation. The will is done. Legal. Binding. But Helen plans to tell Patricia and Douglas first, have a conversation. She's waiting for the right time. May 3, 2024, the Museum of Contemporary Art fundraiser at Belmont Estate. Helen's been on the board for years. Always attends. This year she asks Cameron to come. Are you sure? People will talk. Let them talk. I'm tired of hiding. I want one evening where we're just us. Cameron agrees. They arrive at 7:30 p.m. The venue is stunning. Garden terrace, string lights, string quartet. Guests everywhere. People notice immediately. Helen Ashford with a young black man. Heads turn. Conversations pause. Helen holds Cameron's arm and walks in. They mingle. Helen introduces Cameron. This is Cameron Mitchell, my partner. Some people are polite. Some are clearly uncomfortable. One woman, Patricia's friend Laura, barely acknowledges Cameron. They get drinks. Find a table near the rose garden. They talk, laugh, hold hands. At one point, an acquaintance of Helen's, Gerald Northrop, approaches. Helen. Gerald. Who's your friend? This is Cameron. We're together. Together? Gerald looks Cameron up and down with barely concealed disdain. Isn't that interesting? He walks away without another word. Helen's face flushes with anger. Cameron squeezes her hand. I'm sorry. Don't be. His ignorance isn't your fault. The evening continues. They dance. Cameron leads Helen around the terrace. She's happy. Genuinely happy. At 8:23 p.m. they're standing by the fountain. Cameron says something that makes Helen laugh. He takes her hand, kisses it. She reaches up, touches his face. They kiss. All around them, people watch. Security cameras capture everything. May 4th, 9:17 a.m. Marcus Webb, the estate manager at Belmont, is reviewing last night's security footage. Standard procedure after events. He sees Helen and Cameron. Recognizes Helen, major donor, prominent figure. But who's the young man? Marcus pauses the footage. Zooms in. Realizes how young Cameron is. How intimate they are. Marcus knows Helen's children through charity circles. Patricia's husband Jeffrey sits on the museum board. Marcus exports the clip. 19 seconds. Sends it to Patricia via email with a brief message. Saw your mother at our event last night. Thought you should be aware of this. Marcus tells himself he's being helpful. He's starting something that will end in murder. May 4th, 10:03 a.m. Patricia Ashford Reynolds opens the email at her home office. Clicks the video file. Watches. Her expression goes from confused to shocked to furious. She calls her brother Douglas immediately. You need to see something. Check your email. No. Douglas watches from his car between meetings. What the hell? Who is he? I don't know, but we're finding out today. Patricia calls Helen's house. Voicemail. Calls again. Voicemail. Texts. We need to talk. Today. It's urgent. Helen sees the messages. Her stomach drops. She knows. May 4th, 3 p.m. Patricia and Douglas arrive at Helen's house unannounced. Helen opens the door, already defensive. Mom, we need to come in. Fine. They enter. Sit in the living room. Patricia pulls out her phone. Plays the video. Who is he? Helen takes a breath. His name is Cameron Mitchell. He's someone I've been seeing. Seeing? Mom, he's a child. He's 29. You're 78. I'm aware of my age, Patricia. How long? 3 months. 3 months and you didn't tell us? When would I? You visit once every 2 months, usually when you need money. That's not fair, Douglas says. Isn't it? When's the last time either of you came just to see me? We have lives, jobs, families. And I don't? Patricia leans forward. This man Cameron. What does he want? He wants to make me happy. He wants your money. He's never asked for anything. Not once. They always say that. Mom, be realistic. This is a con. You need to end this. Get out. What? I said get out of my house. Mom, we're trying to protect you. No, you're trying to control me. I'm a grown woman. I can see whoever I want. Patricia's face hardens. If you don't end this, we'll take action. What action? We'll have you declared incompetent. Good luck. I was evaluated by 2 psychiatrists last month. Both certified I'm of completely sound mind. Why would you need evaluations unless I changed my will? Yes, I did. March 29th. Silence. Then Douglas. Mom, what did you do? Most of the estate now goes to charity. Elder care programs. Youth services. You each get $400,000 instead of $3 million. And Cameron? He gets $500,000. But more importantly, the bulk goes to causes that matter. To help people like Cameron who came from nothing. Patricia stands up, shaking. His sob story. Foster care. Poor him. He saw a lonely widow. He's manipulating you. His fiancée left him 2 years ago. He's been alone, building his practice, helping seniors like me. He didn't pursue me. I pursued him. They leave. But in the car, Patricia turns to Douglas. We can't let this happen. What do you want to do? I want that man gone. Douglas, be careful what you're saying. I'm saying we protect what's ours. Dad built that fortune. We've waited years. We're not letting some con artist take it. How do we stop him? I know someone who handles problems. May 5th, 11:30 p.m. Patricia makes a phone call. The number belongs to Vincent Cross, 43 years old. Former military, now works private security. Patricia knows him through her husband's business connections. She knows his reputation. Discreet. Effective. Handles situations that need handling. Vincent? Patricia Reynolds. I need to meet. What kind of situation? Not on the phone. Can you meet tomorrow? Sure. Where? She gives him an address. Industrial area. Private. They meet May 6th at 2 p.m. Patricia's direct. There's a man. He's manipulating my elderly mother. Taking advantage of her. You want him removed from the picture? However that needs to happen. You understand what you're asking? I understand we're protecting our family. This is serious. Yes or no? Vincent considers. This will cost you. How much? $80,000. Half up front. Half when it's done. Patricia doesn't hesitate. Done. I need everything. His address, schedule, vehicle, patterns. I'll send it tonight. Vincent nods. After this, we never met. Understood. May 6, 9:47 p.m. Patricia withdraws $40,000 cash from 3 different banks. Tells the tellers it's for home renovations. Meets Vincent at 11 p.m. in a parking garage. Hands over the money in a manila envelope. Also includes a folder with everything on Cameron. Address, work schedule, client list, car details, daily patterns. Vincent takes it. You don't call me. I don't call you. When it's done you'll know. Vincent leaves. Patricia sits in her car. Hands shaking. Wondering if she just ordered a murder. Deciding she doesn't care. May 7th through May 10th. Vincent watches Cameron. Learns his routine. Morning clients at their homes. Afternoon sessions at various locations. Evenings usually at Helen's house. Cameron drives a Honda Civic, lives in a modest apartment complex with underground parking. No security cameras in the garage. That's the opportunity. May 11th, 7:20 p.m. Vincent positions himself in Cameron's parking garage, behind a concrete support column. Wearing dark clothes, gloves, a baseball cap pulled low. He waits. 7:46 p.m. Cameron's Honda enters the garage. Parks in his assigned spot. Cameron gets out, gym bag over his shoulder, looking at his phone. Doesn't see Vincent until it's too late. Vincent moves fast. Silent. Comes from behind. Strikes Cameron in the head with a tactical baton. Cameron drops, dazed but conscious. Tries to turn, tries to fight. Vincent's on him. Gets him in a chokehold from behind. Cameron struggles. He's strong, manages to rake his nails across Vincent's forearm, draw blood. But Vincent's trained. He's done this before. He squeezes. Cameron's vision starts to fade. His strength leaves. He goes limp. Vincent holds the choke another full minute. Checks pulse. Nothing. 7:53 p.m. Cameron Mitchell is dead. Vincent works quickly. Gets his van from the upper level. Backs it next to Cameron's car. Loads the body into the back. Covers it with a tarp and equipment. Drives out. No witnesses. He drives 40 miles to Riverside Corporate Park. Pre-scouted location. Wooded area near the back fence. Remote. No foot traffic. He digs for 2 hours. Shallow grave deep enough. By 10:30 p.m. Cameron is buried. Covered with earth and branches. Vincent smooths the area. Drives away. May 12th, 6 a.m. Vincent calls Patricia from a burner phone. It's done. You're certain? Yes. No evidence. The rest of the money? Same place. No. Vincent hangs up. May 12th, 9:15 a.m. Helen calls Cameron. Straight to voicemail. She calls again. Voicemail. Texts. Good morning. Are you okay? No response. By 11 a.m. Helen's worried. Cameron always responds. She calls his apartment building. Super says he hasn't seen him. Helen calls Cameron's clients. None have heard from him. He missed 2 morning appointments. That's not like him at all. Helen's panicking now. Calls the police. Reports him missing. They take her information. Young healthy male missing less than 24 hours. Probably nothing. Maybe he needed space. No. Cameron wouldn't do that. We'll look into it, ma'am. May 12th, 12 p.m. Patricia meets Vincent in the same parking garage. Hands him another envelope with $40,000. Vincent counts it. We never met. Never. He leaves. Patricia sits in her car. It's done. Cameron's gone. Now they wait for Mom to realize she's been abandoned. May 12th, 2:30 p.m. Helen's doorbell rings. Patricia and Douglas. Mom, we need to talk. I'm not in the mood. It's about Cameron. Helen's heart stops. What about him? He's gone. What do you mean gone? We mean we talked to him. Offered him money to leave. And he took it. Helen's knees nearly give out. That's not true. Mom, it is. We offered him $150,000 to walk away and never contact you again. You're lying. We met him May 5th. Made the offer. He didn't hesitate. Took the money. He's gone. Helen tries calling Cameron. Voicemail. Tries again. Voicemail. She looks at her children. You're lying. He wouldn't. Check your bank account in a few days. You'll see we withdrew the money. He took it and left. They leave. Helen collapses into a chair. Calls Cameron 20 more times. Voicemail. Every time. May 13th through May 15th. Helen barely eats. Barely sleeps. Keeps calling Cameron. Voicemail. She checks the news. Nothing. She calls police. They're investigating but have no leads. She wants to believe her children are lying. But Cameron's gone. His phone's off. He's disappeared. What other explanation is there? May 15th, 11:30 p.m. Helen's having chest pain. Severe. Radiating down her left arm. She calls 911. Paramedics arrive. Transport her. Diagnosis: severe angina, possible early heart attack. They stabilize her. Keep her overnight. Cardiologist says stress is killing her. Literally. She's released May 16th. Goes home alone. May 16th through May 18th. Helen's in shock. Emotional shutdown. She thinks about Cameron constantly. The way he looked at her. The way he kissed her. Was it all fake? Was she really just a mark? Did she mean nothing? Her heart's breaking. Not figuratively. Literally breaking. May 19th, 3:40 a.m. Helen wakes with severe chest pain. Can't breathe. Reaches for her phone. Can't reach it. Falls to the floor. Massive heart attack. Cardiac arrest. She dies on her bedroom floor. Alone. Believing Cameron abandoned her for money. Never knowing he'd refused. Never knowing he'd been murdered. Never knowing her children lied. She dies believing she was a fool. May 19th, 8:20 a.m. Helen's housekeeper Maria arrives. Finds Helen's body. Calls 911. Helen Ashford, 78 years old, is dead. Official cause: acute myocardial infarction. But her cardiologist who saw her days before will note, stress-induced cardiomyopathy contributed. Her heart broke from emotional trauma. Patricia and Douglas are notified. They show appropriate grief. Plan a funeral. And wait for the will to be read. Wait to inherit $6.1 million split two ways now that Cameron's gone and Mom's dead. May 22nd. Helen's funeral. Small service. Maybe 50 people. Patricia and Douglas sit in the front row. Somber. Set. Playing their parts. Helen's attorney Martin Chin approaches them after. We need to meet about the estate. When? Tomorrow. My office. 2 p.m. May 23rd, 2 p.m. Patricia, Douglas, and Martin Chin in his office. Martin opens Helen's file. Your mother's current will is dated March 29, 2024. I'm aware, Patricia says. It leaves $400,000 to each of you. The bulk of the estate, approximately $5.3 million, goes to establish the Ashford Foundation for Elder Care and Youth Services. There's also a bequest of $500,000 to Cameron Mitchell. But Cameron's missing. Presumed dead likely. If he's confirmed deceased, that $500,000 is added to the foundation. Patricia and Douglas sit in silence. That's it? That's the current will. You can contest, but your mother was evaluated. She was competent. This will stand. But then the news breaks. May 23rd, 5 p.m. Local news reports a body found at Riverside Corporate Park. Male, late 20s, been dead approximately 2 weeks. Identification pending. Patricia sees it. Feels ice in her stomach. May 24th. Police confirm. Cameron Joshua Mitchell. Cause of death: blunt force trauma and strangulation. Homicide. Investigation begins. Who benefits from Cameron's death? Detectives pull his phone records. Bank records. Talk to his clients. Learn about Helen. Learn about the relationship. Learn about the will. Learn about Patricia and Douglas's opposition. May 26th. Police interview Patricia and Douglas separately. Both claim they hadn't seen Cameron since before he disappeared. Detectives pull phone records. Patricia's phone shows multiple calls to an unknown number. May 5th and 6th. Burner phone. That burner's location data shows it near Cameron's apartment. May 11th. Evening. Time of death. Bank records. Patricia withdrew $40,000 cash May 6th. Another $40,000 May 12th. Claims it was for renovations. Detectives check. No permits. No contractors. No materials purchased. Nothing. May 29th. Police trace the burner phone. Purchased May 4th at a convenience store. Security footage. Man in baseball cap, face partially visible. Facial recognition identifies Vincent Cross. Former military. Private security. Known associate of Patricia's husband. June 3rd. Police raid Vincent's apartment. Find $73,000 cash hidden. Notes with Cameron's address and schedule. The burner phone. They arrest him. Vincent's attorney negotiates immediately. Cooperation for reduced sentence. Vincent confesses everything. Patricia Reynolds paid me $80,000 to kill Cameron Mitchell. Said he was conning her mother. I surveilled him for 4 days. Killed him May 11th in his parking garage. Buried him at Riverside. She paid half up front, half after. June 7th. Police arrest Patricia and Douglas. Both charged with conspiracy to commit murder. First-degree murder. Solicitation. Douglas claims he didn't know. But text messages tell a different story. May 6th, after Patricia met Vincent. Patricia to Douglas, Plan B is moving forward. Douglas, how far? Patricia, all the way. Douglas, are we sure? Patricia, do you want $3 million or $400,000? May 12th, Patricia to Douglas, it's done. Douglas, what about Mom? Patricia, she'll come around. She'll need us. May 19th, hours after Helen dies. Douglas to Patricia, I didn't think she'd actually die. Patricia, broken heart. Better this way. Clean. The texts prove Douglas knew. Was complicit. Both charged with first-degree murder. October 2024. Trial begins. 4 weeks of testimony. Prosecution presents overwhelming evidence. Vincent testifies. Phone records. Text messages. Bank records. Forensic evidence from burial site. Defense argues Vincent's lying for a deal. But the evidence is overwhelming. Most damaging testimony comes from Helen's cardiologist. Dr. Sarah Brennan takes the stand. Explains Takotsubo cardiomyopathy. Broken heart syndrome. Mrs. Ashford was hospitalized May 15th with severe cardiac stress. Her tests showed classic signs of stress-induced cardiomyopathy. She believed someone she loved had betrayed her. That emotional trauma was literally destroying her heart. If she'd known the truth, that Mr. Mitchell hadn't abandoned her, that he'd been murdered, she would not have suffered this cardiac event. Her death was a direct result of the emotional devastation caused by the defendant's lies. November 4, 2024. Jury deliberates 7 hours. Verdicts: Vincent Cross, guilty second-degree murder. Sentenced to 28 years. Patricia Ashford Reynolds, guilty all counts. Life without parole. Douglas Ashford, guilty conspiracy to murder. Guilty accessory. 38 years. November 5th. The day after sentencing. Attorney Martin Chin files motion with the court regarding Helen's estate. Under California's Slayer statute, they cannot inherit. Judge rules. Given the direct causation between defendants' criminal actions and Helen Ashford's death, defendants are barred from any inheritance. Their $400,000 bequests are void. All funds are added to the Ashford Foundation. Final distribution. Entire $6.1 million estate goes to establish the Ashford Foundation for Elder Care and Youth Services. Programs helping seniors combat isolation. Programs helping foster youth like Cameron build better lives. Patricia and Douglas get nothing. Not $1. They murdered Cameron to protect their inheritance. Result: Cameron's dead. Helen's dead. Patricia gets life in prison. Douglas gets 38 years. Neither gets a penny. The money goes exactly where Helen wanted, helping people. The irony is absolute. The case becomes international news. The security footage from the gala plays on every network. People watch the 19 seconds of Helen and Cameron by the fountain. See him kiss her hand. See her touch his face. See them kiss. See the genuine tenderness. The real affection. And they understand. This wasn't manipulation. This was two lonely people who found each other. Who chose happiness despite the age gap, despite what society thought, despite everything. Who loved each other. And who paid for that love with their lives. Helen Ashford was 78 years old. Fully competent. Evaluated by doctors. She chose to be with Cameron Mitchell. She chose happiness. Her children decided they knew better. Decided their mother couldn't possibly love a man 49 years younger. Decided it had to be about money. So they murdered Cameron. Told Helen he'd abandoned her. Watched her die of heartbreak. All to secure money they felt entitled to. That calculation destroyed 4 lives. Cameron Mitchell, who died refusing to be bought. Helen Ashford, who died believing a lie. Patricia and Douglas, who'll spend their lives in prison knowing they destroyed their family for nothing. The $6.1 million is now funding programs in their names. The Ashford Foundation operates in 3 states. Elder care programs connecting isolated seniors with companions. Foster youth services helping kids like Cameron build futures. Cameron and Helen are gone. But in a strange way they won. The money that was supposed to tear a family apart is instead saving lives. Helping people. Making the world better. And Patricia and Douglas will spend decades in prison knowing they got exactly what they deserved. Nothing.